Hey, welcome everyone. We're here live from Meridian, Idaho, Cincy Corporate, here with my superstar director, Kim Buchanan, and Jonet Greenfield,
Yes.
corporate training. And if you guys haven't heard about SuccessPaths, you probably have seen them because they're on your dashboard. Like as soon as you get into your workstation, they're front and center, and maybe you've clicked on them, maybe you haven't, but after today, I hope you will, because they just is good information, take you step by step on how to grow your business and how to level up and get promoted to the next level. And they're done by your title, specifically just for you. So without further ado, we'll let Jonet take over here and tell us all about it.
Yes, thank you. First of all, thank you guys so much for having me. So like Yvonne mentioned, my name's Jonet and I'm on the training and development team here at home office. So I love when we get the chance to actually present training to you all and share about what we are doing here at home office and things that we've put in place to equip and empower you as a consultant and as your own Cincy business owner. So a couple of things. First, in the chat, I would love for you guys, I know I kind of teed this up for those that are on live with us, but if you're on live, I would love for you to put in the chat how familiar you are with SuccessPaths. When I say the word SuccessPaths, well, two words, are you like, I've never heard of that, I have no idea what that is? Or are you like, oh, I've seen this. Maybe you're like, I've kind of heard of it, but I don't know what it is. And I just realized my chat box isn't open. Hold on, I think because when I started screen share, there we go. Okay, Carla knows what it is. Yvonne went through the essential one. Yeah. Get familiar. Yep. Okay. So we're going to dive into all things SuccessPaths today. And the very first thing I want to talk to you guys is about what exactly this is. So it is a training program that is designed to boost your skills and lead you to your next title with confidence. And so what that means, that's the nutshell version of what it is. But essentially, us at home office, we wanted to be able to put together a training program that at each title, so it's title specific training. So at each title, it was focused on the core things that you would need to be doing in your business to promote to the next level. And so it's really, really beneficial for you at where you're at in your business. And that's based off of your title. Hold on, I lost my, another thing that we really went into, there's a lot that goes into the designing and developing of these training programs, but the two core fundamental things that you will see, and you maybe have not even noticed that this is like a recurring theme throughout, but is our Cincy sales framework and the 5 fundamentals. So first, how many of you are familiar with the Cincy sales framework? You can just put in the chat, I've heard of it or never heard of it, or I've seen it, don't really understand it, or I see it, I know it well. Heard it at World Tour, yep. So one thing and you guys can keep answering in the comments, but just for the sake of time, I'll keep moving on. The one thing that I hope everyone takes away from the sales framework is the sales framework is the how to do anything you want to do in your business. And when I say anything, I mean anything. It is what is, so if you think of, when you start, you might say, okay, what do I need to do to be successful? Who do I need to talk to? But if you want to know how do you book a party? How do you get sales? How do you sponsor new team members? How do you help team members promote? That's all done through prospect, sharing, and following up. So prospecting, that's finding the people. So let's just say you wanted to use the Cincy sales framework to book a party. The prospect aspect is when you are looking for people that are potential hosts. The share, that's when you have the communication. You reach out and you have, especially because this is direct sales, you want to have direct conversations with people about having a party. And then the follow-up is essential. You'll hear this, if you've never heard it before, you'll hear it a million times, I'm sure, but there's a saying that all of us know and love dearly, and it's the fortune is in the follow-up. And that could not be any more true. It's something that is so easy to put on the back burner, but you will find that if you make that a priority and a focus in your business, that you have continual business. It's a great way to get new people. Even so, for example, so you prospect, you find your host, you reach out to them about having a party. Well, guess what? Not everybody is going to be ready to have a party when you ask them, right? So that's where the follow-up comes in. That's when you can reach back out and follow up and say, hey, I haven't heard from you. Is now a better time to have a party? If you were using this for sales, you would be prospecting, finding a specific person for products or promotion, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, finding certain people and then sharing, again, having those one-on-one direct conversations with them. Say, hey, did you know we just launched this Beetlejuice warmer? It's a fun promotion, whatever it is that you want to share. And then following up, again, maybe they did purchase it right away. Maybe it's someone you reached out to and you knew that they loved this product. Maybe it's the following up after the sale, but maybe it's just checking back in with them. On social media these days, especially, that's primarily the way most people communicate and have conversations. And you'll find that people open a message and they get sidetracked, or they get a new notification, or stuff happens, life happens. And it's a great business practice to get into, to make sure that you're following back up and making sure that people saw your message. No response doesn't mean that they never want to order, they never want to book a party. And it might be a no, not right now. But the follow-up is, having those follow-up conversations is the only way you'll be able to identify if there is some potential there and if it's worth you having those conversations. A lot of times you'll find that they kind of work interchangeably. That's why you'll see the little arrows there, because you might be following up with a past customer, but at the same time looking for somebody that wants to have a party. So in your follow-up with a customer, you might be prospecting for a next host. So you'll see that they kind of blend together, and that's okay too. But if you're ever wondering how you do anything, maybe you're somebody that you want to earn incentive points for promoting team members on your team. You know how you do that? You prospect on your team. You look at who in your team can you identify as somebody that has potential to move up the career path or promote in title. And then guess what you do? You have those direct conversations and share with them. And then you follow up, you stay in touch with them and have those connected conversations. So that Sensi sales framework, you can apply it to everything in your business. And you will see in SuccessPaths, we applied it over and over and over and shared all the different ways that you can use it in your business or throughout your business. So that's number one. The other core framework we wanted to keep in SuccessPaths was the 5 fundamentals of team building. If you are somebody that is interested in growing your business, which I have a suspicion that everybody on here is, because typically people that aren't interested in growing their business don't hop on training calls. So I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that everyone that's on this call is interested in some capacity of growing your business. And part of growing a Sensi business is building a team. So if you're somebody that joined for the income, that's actually especially true for you, because after you've hit certified, the only way to continue to grow up the career path and to continue to promote is through team building. So it's essential to a successful and sustainable business. And it's why we felt it was so important to keep it at the core of SuccessPaths. So those are the 2 frameworks you'll see throughout. And okay, let's kind of talk about the setup of how SuccessPaths works, because it's kind of multi-layered. And it was the first time, you know what, I was going to share, hold on, I've got to exit out of this really quick to get, to get to my page. I was going to share with you guys just how special SuccessPaths is before I dived into the layers, because this is something we've never done before at Sensi. I actually came into Sensi and most of Essential was already written. So even this has it's been in the works for, when I say years, I mean years, for a long time. I'm trying to get to my notes, but I wonder if I have to stop share to get to it. Hold on one second. Okay, so can you guys still see the screen?
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
Oh, no.
No? Okay. Did it stop all the way? Stop. Okay, so here's something really cool. Just some fun numbers for SuccessPaths. So there's a path for every title, which we kind of already talked about. There are 45 courses and 164 lessons. So there's a ton of content. Another thing that I think is really important for you to just know from a business building aspect, especially if you're focusing on team building, is that this is actually a huge perk to being a consultant. Having access to this kind of training. I have been in the direct sales industry for years and years, and I've seen tons of different training programs. I have a few friends that do my job in other direct sales companies. And so we get to chat, and I will tell you, this is world-class training. There is nothing out there in other companies that is like this. It is actually such a huge benefit and perk to being a consultant. And we've even heard of people joining Sensi just for access to the training, or people staying consultants just for access to the training. And I think that's a big deal, because a lot of times when a big reason people are afraid to join a company or get nervous or maybe even have some fear is because they're wondering like, what kind of support they're going to have. They don't know what's available to them. So this even is something for you to mention in any of your join conversations or when you're talking to people about team building. If you already have team members on your team, making sure they know what a big deal this is and what a perk it is to have as a Sensei consultant. Okay, let me go back to screen share because now, hold on. Oh, okay. Let me see. Is it putting me on the screen too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I was gonna take it off, but I don't know how to fix it. And for the sake of time, we'll just keep going. Okay, so how this is different than anything we've done. Well, first of all, not only is it a ton more content and it's title specific, but it's layered. And what we mean by layered is there's a checklist. So right away, when you sign into your workstation, the dashboard has a checklist of items. And I'm going to show it to you guys live in a minute, so I'm not going to hang up too much on this, but that's your first layer of SuccessPaths. And then from there, you can click and get to a landing page. The landing page is per title. So Essential Consultants have their own landing page of SuccessPaths. Certified has their own, yada, yada, all the way up the career path. And then there's courses. So every course is a topic. And then within that course, there are lessons that support that topic. Okay, so there's all the courses, like let's say there's, of course, I can't think of one off the top of my head, but I'll show you one. We have a course that'll have like anywhere from 3 to 5 lessons in it. So it kind of breaks it down a little bit more. So it's not just so much content. It can be a little hard to consume too much at once, right? But there are a couple features that we really are excited about that we want to make sure you know about. First of all, the landing pages, they have this welcome video on all of them. So it's by title, right? But what's really cool about this, if you have anyone in any other country, if you've sponsored in any other market, is this is one of the only places where, I think it's the only place in training for sure, where we have the video in spoken language. And that's a big deal for them because usually they get an English speaker speaking, and then they get subtitles. And we actually got people to come and do German, Dutch, Spanish. So it's a really fun feature. And if you have any Spanish speakers on your team, or if you're interested in, cross-border sponsoring, this is a huge perk, is that they can have access to this training too. It's in all languages. The next thing is the dashboard checklist. So the checklists are not only, this is really important to note, they're not only on your dashboard, where you can check it off, and I'll show you that, like I said, but they're also implemented within the course. And what's really great about this is it's kind of, anytime you see one of those circles with a check mark, I want you to really I would encourage you to really stop and look at it and do the activity, because there is a lot of content and it can be information overload. But if you're not taking time to learn or actually implement it into your business, or learn how to apply it to your business, then honestly, that might be wasted time of yours. So it will really help you in your business if you get to those checklist items and you do the activity or the action that it's encouraging you to do. So anytime you see that little check mark, make sure you take a minute to stop and think, okay, this is something I need to do in my business, or here's a place where I can apply things I just learned. The challenges is similar, but it's kind of like the above and beyond. It's kind of like for those overachievers. If you're somebody and you're going through the content, you'll notice that we have little stars next to them. And I think it's important to know, because next to it doesn't necessarily say challenge. It'll just have that little icon. But anytime you see the star, those are where you can also put the things that you're learning into practice for your business and implement them, so that, again, you're not just learning all this information, but you're able to take action and grow your business. And then the whistle, those are the pro tips. So these are things where it's just kind of like an extra slice of information that's a little bit above and beyond. So sometimes it's from consultants. Sometimes it's like, hey, we've tested and seen that this works best. Try this out. So those pro tips you'll find come in handy as well while you're going through the content. Okay, this is actually also, so another thing that makes SuccessPaths different than anything we've ever done is that we have gated content. It's the first time we've ever done this, so it's new to everyone. It's a change to everyone. But what that means is that you can only access content for your level and any level you've achieved prior. So for example, you'll see the essential consultant. Everyone has access to that because it's when you first start, you're an essential consultant. But once you hit 1,000 in PRV, you're able to promote to certified consultant. And so then you essentially unlock certified consultants, the landing page and all of the SuccessPath content for certified consultant. And then once you promote to lead, again, you unlock a new level of training and you get to consume all the content there. So you always will have access to any title you've achieved so far, but you'll only get access to the titles above you once you achieve them. So I'd love for you to even just think of that as a perk to promoting, because not only are you going to get a bump in pay and some fun other perks, but one of the best things is that you get additional training for that title.
Does that unlock after commissions are done next week?
Yes, because
Okay.
that's a good point, because the system has to recognize your title. So it unlocks as soon as the commissions run and you're in the system as your new title. Great question. Okay, personal growth. So one thing that we want to encourage is that you, like I kind of already mentioned this, but that you're not just consuming all this information and running through it as fast as you can, but really there was so much thought and so much. I could talk to you all day about everything that it takes to put this together. But really we want you to take the content and implement it, take action on it, really focus on how you can take the content you're learning. And it might not even be like, it might not be something you learned in that and you're like, oh, I'm going to do that. It might be like, I read this and it inspired me to, it started making me think about a new way to do it or a different way. So whatever it is, this is a great way for you to have personal growth in your business so you can be promoting and growing your business. The second thing is if you have a team, using it for team growth, which I know both Kim and Yvonne were both saying that, I did that backwards. Kim and Yvonne were both saying that they're going to be doing this with some of their team members. And I think that that is great, especially if you're somebody, maybe you've never sponsored anyone. That's okay. This is for you to know also. When you sponsor them, one of the best things you can do as a leader or a sponsor in this business is not make being a leader too hard. If you make being a leader too hard, nobody wants to be a leader. If you make sponsoring too hard, nobody wants to sponsor. And I will tell you that Sensi has done a ton of the heavy lifting by putting this content out there and creating all of it. And really, as a sponsor or leader, all you need to do is lead your team to it. You share links for things that might be helpful to them, encourage them to go through it, all of it, of course. But if somebody has a question about launch parties, send them the course Ready, Set, Sensi 500 PRV in 15 days. And that not only makes you look more duplicatable if you want them to be sponsoring or leading, but it makes it easier on you. It's working smarter, not harder. You're not out there trying to create your own Canva graphics or Canva trainings. It's already done for you. And so it's a great way to be promoting it with your team, but also a great way to be taking less work off of your own plate. Okay, I think that's it for this slide. So let me stop sharing and I'm going to do just a little walkthrough of it live. We're going to go live and in action. We're going to go to the back office and I'm just going to log into the Sensi family test account. So just, so you know, none of these are real numbers. There's a couple of things I want to show you. Okay, hold on. Screen share this one now. You know what? I want to figure out how I can take myself off or it's just the screen. Here we go. Figured it out. Okay, this is just the screen. Okay, so when you log in to your account, this one is a Superstar Consultant account. But one thing to know is that, so you have this checklist. This is the first one, the first place you should see it, the first layer, I guess, of SuccessPaths. And you can expand these so you can see exactly what we're encouraging you to do as a Superstar Consultant. You promote to Superstar Consultant, check, and then go to your landing page. If you click it, it'll take you to your landing page to watch the video. And then this is the landing page for this title. And so if we scroll down, these are all numbered so that people knew which order to do them in, because just a little side note, but or additional context, when we didn't number them, they don't show up in order. So then people might not know the way they were designed to be gone through. So that's why they're numbered like this. But so for example, this is Set Your Sights. It's the first course. I'm going to come back to this. So I'm going to go back and we're going to go back and dive into I'm going to go back to dashboard, but then we'll dive back into this in just a minute. One thing that's really cool about this Superstar Consultant Path checklist. course I chose the longest title, is that it's interactive. So once you've completed this first step, you can check it off your list. So when you come back, you know where you left off. So it's going to be really helpful, especially because once you finish a course, it takes you to the training homepage. No, does not check it for you. So it's really important to know is you can check it. Also, if you ever need to, you can collapse it if you want to just see your numbers right away, or maybe you've finished it. But these will stay checked. So wherever you left it when you signed out, whenever you log back in, that's where it'll be on. But you can see these items here are checklist items. They have this little check mark next to them. But within the course, there are additional checklist items. We didn't want to bog this down. We didn't want to make it like 8 pages to scroll through. So just so you know, these are very succinct checklists, and there are more checklist items within the course. Okay, so that's the checklist. Now, let's say you wanted to get to SuccessPaths and you weren't using a checklist. Another quick way to access it is if you hover over training and you can just scroll to SuccessPaths, and this will actually bring up all of the path landing pages. Now, remember, you'll only have access to your title. So for example, this is a superstar consultant. If I click this, oh, well, of course it's letting me in it. I'm in the test account, so wonky things happen all the time, or IT might be testing something. But normally when you click it, it will give you a page, of course. It'll give you a little page that says this content is not available for your title. Normally, that's what happens. Okay, so it'll bring up all of the titles. You can choose your title, and then it's just an easy way to access the training. So here are the courses, and we're going to kind of just do a little walkthrough just to show you. So set your sights. So once you come to the course, here's your course title. But you'll notice over here on the sides, these are all of the lessons within this course. Another thing, just kind of some limitations and parameters we had to work with the website, is that all of the lessons are searchable outside of the course. And I say that because you might see things and you might be like, why did they say that twice? It's because we needed, if somebody stumbled across a lesson or searched up a lesson and they weren't viewing it within the course, we needed it to still make sense. So when I said there's a lot that goes into making it, I was not lying. So just so you know, if you see not necessarily double content, but things you're like, wait, they just said that a minute ago. It's because like I said, if it's searched outside of the course. So you'll go through the content. And there's videos throughout too, which is kind of nice to have that type of content. And then next lesson, when you're ready for the next one.
How many lessons are within each course?
They're all a little different. And I don't know if you guys heard Kim, so I'm just going to reiterate. Her question was, how many lessons are within each course? They're all different. I think the most a course has is 6, and the least a course has is 2. Okay. But they all average 3 to 5. It's like, I say they all average 4. Let's say that. They all average 4. Okay, so you scroll through. Okay, here's those pro tips, right? Pro tips are generally called out, but challenges, like when you see the star, they're not called out as much. So just something just for you guys to know a little behind the scenes. It's great when you see these to think, okay, can I do this right now? Is this something I can take action on? And then you can keep going through. You can skip through. So if I was like on lesson 3 right now and I wanted to go back to lesson 1, you can click the lesson title on the side, and it'll take you right back to that lesson. Let's go to 4, and I want to show you guys something. This is actually really special to me because not only do you get a little hit of dopamine from this, but this was like one of the very first things I ever asked for here at Sensi. So I'm like extra excited about it. But when you click complete course, ta-da! You get confetti. And I know it seems like such a small deal, but it was like one of the first things I kind of felt silly asking for it. I was like, hey, you know what would be really cool? I don't know, just like an idea I'm going to throw out there. But what if we had like confetti go across the screen when they complete it? They're like, okay, we could do that. And I was like, really? So it's like it has a special place in my heart. I love that. Now, here's something I want to point out. We are working on this, but it's going to be a bigger fix. It's not going to be done immediately. But I want you to notice that when I clicked complete course, it took me back to training homepage. Training homepage, if you're here and click this, or if you just click training, it brings you here to this homepage. We would ideally like it to go back to your titled landing page, or at least somewhere SuccessPaths. but it doesn't right now. And there's system limitations that it's not able to do that. So this is what's going to also be really helpful of keeping track of where you are, what courses you've completed in your checklist on the dashboard, just as a reminder of where you left off. So to get back to it, you would have to click SuccessPaths and then click on your title. And then you could go to the next course, which would be.
Will it show that on your landing page as well?
Show what
What you completed?
no,
before that?
it doesn't
Okay.
show it on the landing
So
page.
then click on title and then what was the last one?
Oh, yeah. Once you click on title, then you can click on any course you wanted to do next, or the next
Oh,
course that you were on.
save it for you.
Yeah. So wherever you are, just once you complete a course, it takes you all the way out of it, which is a little annoying, I know, but they're trying to fix it. It's just there's a lot behind the scenes. Yeah. Yeah. I know. Okay. So that's that. I'm trying to see if I left anything off with the layers of success paths. I don't think I did, but I'm just making sure. I think we talked about all of that. Okay. All right. I'm going to open it up to questions because we're right about 30 minutes. I'm probably coming up. Do you guys do 30-minute calls? Okay. Okay. I'm like, shoot, am I right at time? Okay. Okay. No, 30 more minutes of content. I could talk for 30 more minutes. Okay. I'm going to open it up and see if you guys have any questions about success paths. And hold on, I lost my chat box again. You can unmute, or if it's easier for you to type in the chat, you can do that. Sometimes it's quicker to just unmute, talk out loud. But so that you can hear yeah. Yeah, let me know what questions you guys have. Yeah.
So what, like, if you were gonna go through it, can you do one lesson in a day? What would you
That's what I
recommend?
just
would be?
asked.
Oh, that's good.
Oh,
That's a great question.
Lesson 4.
Yeah.
To go through the complete success path without feeling overwhelmed.
Yeah. So I will say, so I don't know if you guys heard, I'm just going to reiterate just in case, but they're asking, Kim and Yvonne were wondering, how long would it take you to go through, or how long should you go through it? And I will say it's a little bit of it's not like a black and white answer, only because it's a little different based off of title. But we don't recommend going through all the courses like in one day. Yeah, you could. I mean, some courses or some are like 15 minutes, others are like an hour with all the videos. So it kind of depends on the course length. You definitely could do it in a day if you wanted to. But the whole idea that we would love for people to like get behind is doing the training and then taking action on whatever you learned. So let's say in the superstar path, I think there was like wrong page, wrong box. There's what is it called? Hold on. Elevate your business with social media. There's a lot to unpack in that one. There's like strategic planning your business on social media, engagement strategy on social media, data-driven decisions on social media. So there's a lot of things there that ideally you're not going to, I mean, you could obviously read through it all, but it's going to encourage you, especially when you get to the data one, it's going to say like, do this for 3 months consecutively to gather the right data. Because anything you do for a week or a month on social media really isn't long enough to gather the appropriate data for it. So things like that, longer. Now, for your launch party one, there's ones like host coaching, you might be able to do that day, go do it. So it's kind of not really a black and white answer, but ideally people aren't just running through it all in one day. Yeah.
Suzanne has a good question.
Oh, let me
Should she start at her previous level? So should
Ooh,
she start at
that's
the
a
beginning?
great question. Suzanne, what level are you right now? What title are you? I'm trying to find my chat.
Well, I'm at Star Consultant, but
Okay.
only because I reached that 1 month like a year ago. So I really consider myself more of a lead, but I haven't been able to maintain a team.
Okay.
They,
That's a great question. So for you, I probably would say then go back to lead, because lead does have great content in it. There's like a course, it's Share the Opportunity. I think it's called Ready, Set, Sensi, Share the Opportunity. And that will give you great things for get you team building so you can get back up to that star level. Also, there's some social media ones on lead that will help you with your social media presence to grow your team and to get consistent on there. So I don't think it's a bad idea to look back, but you could also, I always say, like, treat it like a buffet. Like if you could do some of both, maybe go look at lead and see like, what do you need most in the lead area? And then go over to to star and see, what do I need most over here? You do have access to all of it. So that's nice. And they are built like from essential all the way up. So it is designed more to kind of get you there. So you might feel like you're going backwards if you start at star and then go to lead, but you could if you wanted to.
Do you think you would be very bored if you started at essential and?
Maybe only, okay, so she asked, would you be bored? One thing is that the basics of our business are always going to be the same. It's like the beauty of the business is that the whole prospect, share, follow up, right? Book, sell, recruit. Like that's what you need to do. Book, sell, recruit. How you do it is prospect, share, follow up. Those basics they're not going anywhere. That will always and forever be the business model and how we run our business. So even though like some of the content might not be new content, I always feel like it's a great refresher. It's a great like, oh yeah, I used to do that. How come I stopped telling my host to invite her top 10 VIPs? You know, there are little things like that you're like, why did I get away from that? Especially the longer you're in, or the longer you've been a consultant, the longer you're in. That sounded like we were all Yes, and it's a good just a reminder of like, oh yeah, I used to do that and I got away from it. So I don't think you would be bored. It just might not be new information. Does that help?
Yeah, thank you. That's great.
I have a question.
Yeah.
I'm a director, but I'm definitely going to go and look at the other levels just so I can see what my team members are going to be looking at. And
Yeah.
I think that'll help me help them. But every time I get a new recruit, I'm constantly, faithfully, every single time telling them, please go do your first things first checklist, because that walks them through step by step of the basic things.
Right.
I've been told, or I've read somewhere on one of the pages, that the first things first checklist is now gone and that it's the SuccessPaths. And I
No.
just need confirmation of that. Okay.
Yes and no. We basically renamed it. It's the same. But if you look at it, it does say first things first still, but it says first things first / essential success path. I wish I don't have an essential test account open right now.
Okay, so once the essential has all of her green check marks, then that means she has completed her first things first and she's qualified for the sensational start.
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
That's good to know.
And
Thank
so
you.
as they're doing that, it will, like, just like the other titles, it'll pull them over to training to give them more training on those areas. But
Okay.
it is it's not gone at all. We just basically kind of rebranded it because the essential is the first things first now. So it's more rebranded than gone.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, and they still, yes. Yes, good point. I don't know if you heard her, but you still have to check them all to get that award. You have to check. Yep.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm so excited about this because I think people are scared to sponsor people because they don't know what to do with them once they get them. Like, now what do I do?
Yes.
Just send them to the success.
Yes.
And do that.
Yes. Yeah. And even as a leader or a sponsor, if you're like, I don't know what to have them do, and yeah, send them there. But even you as a reminder can go through, and because not everyone you send there is going to go click the link, but you can go through and be like, okay, what should I be talking to them right now? Because again, once you get away from the basics, it's easier to, it's harder to be like, wait, what should I be doing? Oh yeah, launch party.
Especially if you've maybe been sponsoring or you haven't been doing parties, like when you had been doing that,
Yep.
maybe, you know, it's good to get a reminder again of like,
Yes. Yes. And even I think things like we forget, especially, I mean, I know you guys have been consultants for a long time. You start to forget that people don't know what PRV means. So you'll notice like we introduce it early, but you know, talking in the way more of, hey, here's how many orders, like our average order right now. Yeah. Yeah. Here's how much, yes, sales. Yeah. Sales. This is how much you need to sell. And that's kind of speaking more their language because they don't know what GWV is or PRV and all that. So, and I think that's pretty common for people to say, oh, sell 1,000 PRV. And they're like, what's PRV? What does that mean? And so I think it's easier to speak in sales. Yeah. Or number of orders. However.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm a lead and I have 2 new recruits from back in July. And I created a team page and I have one teamie that I've had for over a year. And so the two new ones, they're really new. One is basically a hobbyist. The other one is doing pretty good. She missed out on Sensational Start by a couple of days. So is there like a checklist or something on the workstation to where I can go in and see what kind of training I could go over with them like once a week, and
we
so
are
they
working
can
on that.
keep up to date?
We are working on that. They're calling them leader prompts. It's actually, which is like a sponsor prompt. It's rolling out to R2 today or tomorrow. But it's going to be that kind of thing where more like the touch points or checkpoints, like you can reach out with your consultant to talk about. But let me show you one thing that might be helpful also that I probably should have, that was a really good question. If you go into training and you search checklist, if I could spell, this one right here, this is SuccessPaths checklist. Now, this is only available to lead and above because at lead you have a team, or you have at least a team member. And so what this is it shows you everyone else's checklist content. So for your essential, coming in here and looking. So Tracy, for you, when you're wondering if that list went away, so see how it says essential success paths, first things first checklist. That's exactly what it says on their page too. But you could come in here and check in and say, hey, did you do step 2, 500 PRV in 15 days? And then talk to them about like these are what I would use as a touch point essentially, is their checklist items. And then reminding them to go check it off, especially if they're essential. But maybe they've been around for a while. I'm going to scroll. Hopefully nobody gets motion sickness. Maybe they've been around for a while, they're certified, but they want to work on getting to lead. These would be great places to or great topics to touch base with them about. And it will show you like these are this is the course title, and then these are the courses also that they're doing at this level. So this might be a good place for you to come and just kind of see what you could be working with your team.
I love
Okay, yeah, because I just my one that just missed out on Sensational, she did promote to certified.
Oh,
So
yeah.
that'll be working, and then the other one is still essential. So they're all in different range. I got 2 certified and 1 essential.
Yeah, and which is totally fine because you could still kind of look at what's gonna and touch base with them individually, you know, what's gonna work best
Okay,
where they're at. in
okay,
their-
thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question.
the training center, type in.
Yep, I did checklist just because it comes up quicker,
Okay, so
but
type
it's
in
success.
checklist.
Yeah, the title of it is Success Paths Checklists.
Success.
It's so much.
Paths.
Success Paths Checklist, and it will give you all the content for what's in everybody's checklist. Or
I
every
think
title.
that's the real
Yeah,
program is that it's
yeah.
not by title.
Yes, yes, yes.
No.
Okay. So good we did this.
Great.
I love it.
So we get to see all the different checklists if you're at that. Okay.
Yeah, and you just have to be a lead to access this, only because it is designed as a support resource for sponsors. So, and it's certified, you haven't necessarily.
Will they see all of them, even if they're not?
Yeah, on that,
Okay.
because it is one lesson. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So even if you're sitting at lead and you're like, I really want to be a star, you could look ahead at what's coming up and be like, use it as motivation to
Yeah.
promote. Yeah. Do you guys have any other questions?
Who's excited to get started?
That's what I
We're
want to
gonna go
hear.
through it together, so it's gonna be super fun and amazing.
Yeah. I'm excited. Well, I would love for you guys to share back. We are really big on, we want to iterate this. We are taking any and all feedback. And like I said, some of it was written even before. I've been here almost 2 years, and some of it was written before I was even here. So any feedback is so helpful to us. If anything you love, anything you wish would be different, anything you would change, anything you would take away, any of that. And you guys can always email us training@sensi.com. And I don't say that lightly. I'm not saying that to like be nice, like, please, I would beg of you to give us feedback, because it really is hard to know which direction should we go if we're not getting enough feedback. And it's hard. We don't want to base big decisions off of 2 people's feedback. So we really, really appreciate that.
All right, I'm going to stop.